Well, Romeo Crennel was the head coach for 3 different NFL teams, including this one in Houston. But if you eliminate interim coaches, then Smith is indeed the first black head coach for 3 different franchises. And Field Smith said he'll continue to make the defensive calls for the Texans as he did last season when they ranked among the worst run defenses in the NFL, but made huge improvement in forcing takeaways. Smith believes calling the plays on the defense is where he can most directly impact the team's success.
Ed, thank you. A bit of continuity for the Houston Texans on defense. Let's turn to our guys here. And Key, what do you make of this hire of Lovie Smith? As we just mentioned, his 3rd time being an NFL head coach.
You know, I'm excited for Lovie Field. He was our linebacker coach in Tampa Bay, so he comes, obviously, with a long line of connections, whether it's Herm Edwards and Tony Dungy through Denny Green. He was the defensive coordinator with the Rams when they went to the Super Bowl. And when you look at his head coaching record at 81-63, the Bears alone, never mind the Tampa Bay situation, because that was a little murky, but I like it. I like the fact that Pep Hamilton is his offensive coordinator. And I would knock the notion that he was hired based on Brian Flores' lawsuit against the National Football League. I think he's hired because he was the right man for the job at that particular time for them. And as he said, they vetted a lot of different people, and the ultimate decision came down to Lovie Smith, who's the right guy. I mean, it's simple, Jeff. I mean, that's the way I see it. I don't see it as all of a sudden Brian Flores, Dan, decides to sue the NFL, and the Houston Texans are going to protect 31 other teams in the National Football League to make it seem a certain way.
I couldn't agree with you more, Key. Like, he is the right man for the job. Listen, he's been in the organization. He understands or knows what warts are there, right? He understands the situation with Deshaun Watson. He understands the situation with ownership and how this interview process has carried itself out. He understood, you know, what was going on with Josh McCown and what conversations were had. And he also understands how to steady a ship. When you think about his personality, man, this guy, he is a calming influence in locker rooms. Every player who's played for him appreciates his candor. He's very honest with you about what the expectations are. He's not a guy who comes in and is controlled by his emotions. He's very steady. He understands it's going to be a long process. This team has issues, right? With Mills at quarterback, is it going to be Deshaun? What is all this going to look like? Guess what? That's not going to be. It's going to be a blip on the radar for Lovie Smith. He carries himself in that kind of respect. I agree with you. He was the right man for the job. He's going to help this Texans franchise get back heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I did to get on Keyshawn's bad side on this, but I'm going to try and dig myself out of it. Look, I think there was a perception, right or wrong, that Houston was zeroing in on McCown and pivoted because maybe there were bad optics as a result of hiring somebody with that thin a resume. He's never coached. It's not a thin resume. It's a non-resume, given the circumstances. But my thought is similar to yours, Key. If that is what happened, then they may have sort of fallen backwards into a better choice. This guy's a good coach with a good record of success in the NFL, and I think he has a chance to steady the ship, as Jeff Saturday said. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. Maybe Pep Hamilton can continue to build up Davis Mills. Maybe they have to go out and get somebody else. But this is a real NFL coach who's done a decent job in his previous stops, a very good job in his first one in Chicago, getting to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman at quarterback. And my hope for him is he doesn't meet the same fate as David Culley did after only 1 year. I would hope the organization does well under him and that they give him more of a leash than that.
No, Dan, you're not on my bad side. What the hell are you talking about? That wasn't a shot at you. You don't make the news. You just report the news. I don't know. No, I said Dan because I'm talking to my 2 guys, for crying out loud. But here's what I would say real quick, Yates. The one thing that I love that Lovie Smith said is he is going to control the defense. That is where he made his bones in the National Football League. Far too often, we see coaches get hired and they give up play calling duties on both sides of the ball, and then they wind up not having success. I love the fact he's going to do that.
And Key, the other thing you and I both know, and I played for Tony Dungy and Jim Caldwell for years, and Lovie, and this is kind of all out of the same tree when you think about these coaches. the conviction by which they coach by and they hire coaches by is very important. So for him, that situation with Pep Hamilton was enormous because he does trust his coaches to do their thing. So the conviction on both sides, whether it be with the players or with the coaches, I think, again, is going to speak volumes into that organization as a whole to collectively bring that thing unified and get that thing all headed in the right direction.
A long search results in Lovie getting an elevation. Best of luck to the Houston Texans.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.